Hello, my name is Kyle and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about Nancy Pelosi's husband being viciously attacked by what appears to be a, quote, former Castro nudist protester, unquote. This story cannot get any stranger. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you this actual press conference from the San Francisco police. This is William Scott, the San Francisco police chief, and let's hear what he has to say.
When the officers arrived on scene, they encountered an adult male and Mr. Pelosi's husband, Paul. Our officers observed Mr. Pelosi and the suspect both holding a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup.
All right, so let's just stop there. And before we go any further, let me just show you some tweets here on Twitter, since we can do that now because we have a free speech platform for a change. This is from Candace Owens. She said, this will be the end of the defund the police movement. That's interesting. You know, when the police are helping them, the left, all of a sudden they want to have the police on their side, fully funded and all that. It's no big deal. Terrence K. Williams says this Pelosi story is getting weird. Paul Pelosi and his attacker were half naked when the police showed up. They were both in their underwear. And how did somebody randomly get into the mansion of the person third in line of the presidency? Where was Nancy Pelosi? Make it make sense. Now, I don't have any of that verified, but let's go back to Daily Wire. I mean, if he was, to be fair, if it's 2:30 in the morning, he's going to be in his underwear potentially. So, you know, but it is kind of weird. I mean, you have to admit, this guy is like, you know, so anyway, so let's go to this article here from the Daily Wire. Suspect who allegedly attacked Paul Pelosi with hammer is identified as former Castro nudist protester. It says here, we know about this stuff here. It was 2:30 in the morning. Police said at this press conference that at 2:30 a.m. that they arrived on the scene. They witnessed the suspect and Paul fighting for the control of a hammer. The suspect pulled the hammer away from Mr. Pelosi and violently assaulted him with it. Our officers immediately tackled the suspect, as we heard in the clip, disarmed him, took him into custody, requested emergency backup, and rendered medical aid. I hear it's extensive damage to his skull is what I'm hearing. So let's go down here. It says heavy.com, a fact-finding website, highlighted a tweet from a Mission local journalist, Joe Ezinkazi, that stated, quote, my sources also named the suspect in this morning's hammer attack on Paul Pelosi as David Depape, born 1980 of Berkeley. Well, I mean, you can't get any, it's Berkeley, so fill in the blank. He would appear to be a former Castro nudist protester. Things appear set to be bizarre for a while. Absolutely. Also in 2013, the San Francisco Chronicle, in which the same man appeared to be mentioned, although his name was spelled wrong in the article, is spelled correctly in the captions of one of the photos included in the article. The article described him as a hemp jewelry maker. You have the article right here. So I don't have the picture of him. Let me see if it's down here somewhere. So according to the San Francisco Chronicle, is this guy right here to the far left in the blue, right in front of this 8-year-old here. So that's supposedly him, according to what they're saying here. Interesting. And of course, you can't have a tragedy without the Biden administration blaming Republicans. Of course, they're going to blame Republicans for his violent attack because supposedly there's a bunch of conspiracy theory stuff that he's pointing to in here, and it goes on and on and on. And so now the media is off on the narrative. But I mean, what Terrence Williams talked about is an interesting thing. Okay, are those questions going to be raised? And where's the outrage for people like Rand Paul or Scalise, who were violently attacked with the inches of their lives? And there's no pushback in terms of the left when it comes to Republicans being in harm's way. And with this, I'm going to read one more comment from Mr. Lovell. This is from Daily Wire comment section. I thought it was pretty good, so I'm going to read it right here for you. He says, I'm of good conscience and standing up to all the violence that has been cheered on by the Democrats since 2016 when they called for people to confront Trump supporters, said riots should not stop, and applauded violence and harassment of Republican senators at their homes. The only violence I've ever seen a Democrat speak out against was the violence against them. I have never heard the Democrats combat violence against Republicans, and that's the theme of this video. What do you guys think? You know they're going to use a narrative. We have an election coming up pretty soon. And looking at the Real Clear Politics average, the Democrats are in some serious trouble But we all know they have a backup plan that I won't talk about here. I will talk about later on another channel. So with that, what's your thoughts so far? This is obviously breaking. This is really in the middle of everything. So there's not much more to report on that we know for sure. I'm sure this will get much crazier, as you can imagine. So it is San Francisco after all. But with that, let me guys know what you feel about this and comment below. I'd be curious to know. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.